I mean, that's horrible. That's what they would say. Evil, bigoted people who are closed-minded, not me. I'm going to erase that from this board. That kind of language is not welcome here. Relativism caused our conversation to be a big waste of time. So the very fact that you're trying to convince me about relativism proves to me that you don't believe relativism. Because the fact that you're trying to convince me means that both of us can understand each other.
That's so funny.
You said there's no truth.
That's so funny.
And that each one has his own perspective. So why are we talking? I'll never understand you. You'll never communicate to me. So you've just proven your whole stupid point. If you're really relativistic, go over and smoke some ganja in the corner. Leave me alone. The third way that relativism is shown to be just completely dumb is that, you could show a third way. You could say relativism leads, I would show it by its utility. It leads to violence, oppression, and a lack of community.
See, because that one right there is the one, like, when I was having that conversation with that guy that we got stuck on, because he was like, no, because truth leads to violence and oppression and lack of community.
That's what they say.
Yeah, because it's like, look at the Crusades and everything like that, because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then, but it's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I agree.
Why? Because once you say majority rules, this is how you can show this. Why? Because the majority rules, and the majority is driven by economic gain. The only thing that unites us, if you can't be morally judgment, the economy / money is the only acceptable subject for debate. Now, once you say that the majority's decisions are driven by economy, the economy is a tyrannical force over human dignity. In other words, what is useful becomes what is obligatory. And that's where you have the violence and oppression. An old woman has no right to live if it will cost us more to keep her alive. I don't want to die. I'm quite happy. I'm sorry the time has come for you to die. I really don't want to die. Well, the machine says you have to die because we can't afford to keep you all. So in 92, we're going to mandate death. Now, who are you to stop it? That's not right. Yeah, well, it's so right. It's like what they did in Missouri. I told you guys this one before. When Michael J. Fox, Mr. Parkinson's guy, comes out campaigning in Missouri so that Missouri will allow a stem cell research. So stem cell research means that embryonic stem cell research, they actually make babies to harvest their cells so that they can cure his disease. Harvest their cells means, their stem cells means they kill the child. So they create children, they kill them, and then they apply that science that they learn to cure Parkinson's. How would they ever get this passed? Well, what they did is they put up a bill, first of all, like they knew they were going to do the vote in November, so like in March, they pass a bill saying an embryo in Missouri is only named an embryo after 6 weeks. Now, therefore, in November, they come out and they say, embryonic stem cell research doesn't kill any embryos. No embryos will be destroyed in this research. And Michael J. Fox comes out saying, it's amazing. No embryos will be destroyed. Big science. No embryos being destroyed. So all these good people in Missouri are like, wait, we can do this good thing and no embryos will die? Yeah, no embryos will die. Because they redefined the term embryo. And it passed. So there you got the tyrannical force over human dignity. We need to cure Parkinson's. This is what we've decided. And remember, the majorities are puppets. They're puppets of the politicians. They're puppets of these other utilitarian forces. The only thing that can stop utility is human rights, dignity, nature. But in relativism, there is no such thing. Because I can't know it. It's just whoever's idea can trump the world will force it down everyone else's throats. So the force, in other words, the reason why Billy Bob is so happy with it is because he's going along with the majority. If I was talking with Billy Bob at the bar, I would say, just imagine for a second that your opinions were minoritarian. What if you really felt that, at the time of when homosexuality was looked upon as a minority opinion? Would you have just shut up and allowed the majority to trump over you? No, you fought, didn't you? You fought because you thought this was really right. You're going to tell me I can do whatever I want with homosexuals? I can do whatever I want with women? I can do whatever I want? I mean, just because you don't like children and you don't like blue-collar workers, that's fine. Those are the oppressed today. But when the oppressed was the blacks, you fought like tooth and nail. No one could convince you that it was just a relativism thing based on culture. That was what the slaveholders said. That was what the governor of Alabama, I just saw this, right? I didn't know this. The governor of Alabama resisted the integration of the schools by standing himself in the doorway. You guys know this? So he called out the state guard of Alabama to keep the black children from entering the white school, and he stood in the doorway. He said, those students will not enter this school. I'm the governor of Alabama. So President Kennedy did an unprecedented act as president because he's forcing the culture of this state, this people that said, we culturally have decided, majority rules, that this is the right thing. President Kennedy forced them. And what he did is he said, okay, State Guard of Alabama, I now summon you to be a National Guard. I now change by my swipe of my wand, which he could do legally. You're now all federal troops, which means you no longer respond to the governor. And now I, to whom you respond, force you to bring those still students in the room. And so they literally, and you can watch it, go on YouTube, that's where I found it. You can watch the video of the State Guard guy sitting there reading it, and they literally just pushed him away and put the students in the school. Now, so I would talk to that guy who thinks he's like so cool, and I'd be like, based upon your own principles, how was that justified? In other words, it's really cool to be relativistic when you're in charge. And when you're an unborn child, or an old person, or diseased, or a Down syndrome baby, it's really not, or homeschooling parent, it's really not very cool. And that's another way that you can refute it, is to say, in the end, you have killed us all. We're just at the whims of those who control us. Does that make sense? So I've covered a lot of ground here in this class. Next one will be the same thing. We'll cover a lot of ground. And then it'll get easier. We'll get in the main arc and we'll just take a look at our choices and stuff. Right versus wrong. Bree, you want to talk to me? Tell me one thing you learned from class. The governor of Alabama stood in the doorway.
Yeah.
Alright, I want to keep going. It'd be helpful though. If I was a good teacher, I'd say, okay, everybody write down 3 things that you learned. Teacher, I'm over my time. 11:06. Cool?
Yep.
Alright, let's say a prayer then.